What's up guys, it's Bevel here. Today we're going to show you guys how to set up and run some 6010 and some 7018. So if you come up here, we're going to show you guys, we have the machine set to stiff because this is a fast freeze rod. Look at our amperage, we're somewhere around 85-90 amps because we're running a 1/8 6010 and we're on DC EP for direct current electrode positive because we're running a fast freeze rod. So we're going to start on a T-joint today. We're going to talk about a few things like angle. The first angle we're going to talk about is going to be travel angle. And our travel angle needs to be straight in. Travel angle is this angle here. And we want our rod basically straight in as we're welding this horizontal T-joint. Then we're going to talk about work angle. That's the angle pretty much up and down when we're on the T-joint. We want it to be about a 45. We want to be right in the middle there. Now, as this weld's forming down through there, we're going to have to watch the puddle. If it tries sticking on the top plate more, we're going to have to come up and put it on the bottom plate more, or vice versa. So you got to use a little common sense, but a good starting point is about 45 degrees. So as you can see, we've laid some 6010 welds here. What happened, we used the whipping motion. I put this rod here and created a puddle. We whipped out of that puddle, keeping the arc going, and let that weld freeze. Then we brought our rod back into the puddle, whipped out, let it freeze. Back into the puddle, let it freeze. And we consistently stack those down through there. So we have to stay in the puddle the same amount of time to keep them the same size. And we have to keep our whips the same length, or how far we come back into it the same length, so that they're evenly spaced. Now as you can see, when we made the first weld, it came all the way down through here, all the way to the end. And then our second weld is on the bottom half of the first weld. And we want to cover up over 3/4 of that first weld. And then we have a little valley left right in here, and our third weld set right in that little valley. Now this is done for a demonstration. You would actually make these welds all the way out the T-joint. We just did them like this so you can see. So that's it for 6010. So now we're going to show you guys how to set the machine up for 7018. We want to be on soft because it's a filler rod, and we're running a 332 7018, so we're going to leave our amperage somewhere between 85 and 90. Again, DC EP because we're stick welding. So we got our 332 7018. Got the same horizontal T-joint on this side. We'll talk about those angles again. Travel angle on a 7018 needs to be leaned back about 20 to 30 degrees. If we're right-handed, we're going to be welding from left to right. The reason why we lean that angle back, so we can't let any slag get in front of our rod as we're welding. We want all that slag behind us. Now our work angle, same thing, is going to be about 45 degrees in the middle. And like I said, if your puddle's favoring one or the top plate or the bottom plate, you're going to have to force it to the opposite plate. Now there's no whipping motion. We're just going to pull a solid steady pace all the way down through the T-joint, letting that weld evenly form. So with this, it's really important that we keep our rod down there touching the metal, and that we keep a solid, steady pace. You can see we made our first weld all the way down, just like with 6010. Our second weld, we covered up over 3/4 of that first weld, and that left us a little valley, and we ran our third weld in that little valley. So that's how we'd stack those beads up. Again, we didn't weld this all the way out for demonstration purposes to show you guys how they stack. And that's how you run your lab projects for 6010 and 7018. Thanks guys.